Hello everyone, this is SGD B6, and now we will be presenting about our student project entitled Psychosexual Development. This is our group members. For me, my name is Rosevelani, and first I will be presenting about the introduction. So, psychosexuality is defined as sensual bodily stages of development in childhood that provide psychic and somatic sensual sexual experiences. Psychosexuality is a personality development which is linked to physical growth and development, and in which sexuality plays a key role. The basis of psychosexual energy is libido. The first and most widely adopted known theory is Freud's developmental theory, in which he states that the 5 stages of psychosexual development are oral, anal, phallic, latent, and genital stages. One must go through each of the previously stated psychosexual stages in order. When libidinal drives are suppressed or are unable to be released appropriately in any of the stages, the child is left wanting and unsatisfied, or can be called as fixation. Fixation at any stage can cause anxiety, which can last into adulthood as neurosis. Therefore, it is important for the general public to understand more about psychosexual development. Hello everyone.
My name is Anjani Prabandani with Master Religious on 48. So the problem formation of the data review is what is psychosexual development, and then the objective of the data review to understanding about the psychosexual development and the benefits is to show the description about the psychosexual development. Thank you.
My name is Nathanael with last 3 digits of my student's number are 26. Freud's psychosexual development theory stands for how libido is centralized and the individual must go through each step to be a functional adult. Childs feel unfulfilled when their desires are repressed and known as fixation. People will remain stuck until the problem is resolved and will produce anxiety in this stage. There are 3 concepts of first theory. First, the optimus complex, which is a natural tendency to have sex with the opposite sex parent at the age of 5. Secondly, at the age of 6, child's ego is challenged by desires which result in repression. Thirdly, the desire to save will be cleared if the members are made conscious. First theory has 5 phases, which includes the allogenous sound and its range. They are oral phase from birth to 1 with mouth, anal phase from 1 to 3 with bladder control and bowel, phallic phase from 3 to 6 with genitals, latent phase from 6 to puberty with inactive sexual interest, and genital phase from puberty to death with mature sexual interest.
Hello everyone.
My name is Putu Adisti, Sujana with last digit name is 241. I will be explaining about the definition of psychosexual development. So psychosexual development is created by Sigmund Freud, which is about a personality that is developed through a series of infantile stages in which the pleasure-seeking energies of identification were focused on a certain erogenous area. If these psychosexual stages are successfully completed, the result is a healthier personality. Meanwhile, if certain problems are not resolved at a proper stage, fixation can occur. A fixation is a persistent focus on an earlier psychosexual stage. Until the conflict is resolved, the individual is left wanting, unsatisfied, and will remain stuck at this stage. For example, a person who is obsessed in oral stage may be overly dependent on others and may seek oral stimulations through smoking, drinking, or eating. That is all from me. Thank you.
So my name is Karen Angela, and my last 3 digits student number is 116. So I'm going to explain about the 5 stages of psychosexual development, in which the first phase is the oral stage that begins from 0 to 1 year old. At this stage, mouth is the center of pleasure, and oral stimulation through tasting and sucking brings satisfaction to them. In the oral stage, babies develop trust and comfort in their caregiver, typically their mother, and fixation at this stage may make one aggressive or dependent. And they might also develop into a person who is unsatiable, gluttonous, and greedy. Some manifestations include chewing gum, biting a pencil, or smoking cigarettes.
My name is Wayan Widyasari with your last digit of name 084. So the second stage is anal phase. This phase begins at 1 until 3 years old, and this phase also called as the period of controlling defecation in children. In this phase, children learning about how to hold their stool and defecate, and also understand the important part of defecation, that is voluntary control of the sphincter. and the sensitive task of this phase is toilet training. But early toilet training, excessive parent-child conflict, and irrational fears, and also anxiety around toileting may lead to constipation in children.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Gede Saputra with last three-digit number of name 018, and I would like to discuss with you guys about the next stage of Freud's psychosexual development, which is the stage 3 or phallic phase. Phallic phase occurs during the 3 to 6 years old period, in which it is a transitional phase where children will begin to experience pleasure regarding their genitalia. It is a transition between pleasure principle, in which children act on immediate gratification, mostly using it, into reality principle, where they start implementing ego and reaching satisfaction from practical strategies. Children will also develop attraction towards their parent of opposite gender, which is called the Oedipal complex for boys and the electoral complex for girls. They will result in withdrawal and tension from interaction, especially towards their parent, assuming their parent as a sexual threat, in which relationship with opposite gender and children autonomy may solve this phallic stage complexes.
Hello, doctor and friends. My name is Geraldine Gutama with the last three digits of student ID is 100, and I'm going to present about the fourth stage of psychosexual development by Freud. So the fourth stage is called latency phase, which occurs between the age of 6 to 9 or pre-adolescence. The latency or latent itself means hidden. So the sexual impulse of an individual is dormant or diminished and will be replaced with reality like schoolwork, sport activities, hobbies, relationship, and etc. In this stage, sexual inhibition begins to appear, which leads to disgust, shame, moral and aesthetic desire. And children begin to concern about peer relationship, interest, and activities which help them to develop their social skills, hobbies, self-confidence, and intellectual levels. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Rania di Parawita with last three-digit student ID number is 226. So now I will explain about the last stage, which is the stage 5, the genital space. The fifth stage is the genital phase that occurs at the age of 13 until 18 years old, or briefly is adolescence. In this phase, there is metrosexual feelings that is felt like the ego of the child is developing in this phase, and they are seeking freedom, the formation of desire, and also the development of sexual instinct. The genital phase means that sexual pleasure at this stage is centered on the genital apparatus that is followed by physical development in men and women who have entered puberty. Not only physical development, but in this phase, the psychological development of adolescence also occurs, characterized by the development of individual emotion levels. The ups and downs of emotion are closely related to hormonal conditions, which are related to the genital phase. If a child or young adult experience dysfunction during this period, then they will not be able to develop a meaningful, healthy relationship.
Now let me introduce myself. My name is Leonyta Augustyne with the last three digits 150. Now we will move on to the example of 5 stages of psychosexual development, and I will explain the example of stage 1 or oral phase. So the first form of oral-centered newborn baby's activities is start from the needs to satisfied by sucking and tasting mother's breast milk. Babies also start to grab any kind of objects they find, including their own fingers, into their mouths for satisfaction, which leads to aggressive habits if not fulfilled. This causes of stage 1 dissatisfaction or overfulfillment. In infancy can be rooted in habits of excessive gum chewing, nail biting, and thumb sucking in adolescence, and also overeating and smoking in adulthood. That is all from me. Next will be explained by my friend. Thank you.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Clairene Siemarga with last 3 digits of student number 134. Example of stage 2. Stage 2 is anal phase. At this stage, child derives pleasure from the action of controlling the anus. Example of stage 3. Stage 3 is phallic phase. Focus of sensual pleasure of boys comes from penis, which little boys spend a lot of time touching. Girls were addressed to envy boys as they realized that they didn't have penis. Boys bond strongly with their mothers and show less interest in their fathers. Girls bond strongly with their fathers and show less interest in their mothers. Thank you.
My name is Tiffany Cecilia, and now I will explain about the example of stage 4 and 5. First is stage 4 or latency phase. So children begin to respond to their urges indirectly by focusing on activities such as school, sports, and relationship building. Dysfunction at this stage prevents the child from forming healthy relationship as an adult. Next is examples of stage 5 or genital phase. Their ability to form meaningful and lasting relationship is attainable, and their sexual desires and activities are healthy and consensual. When children and young people experience dysfunction during this time, they are unable to form meaningful and healthy relationships. Next.
My name is Gusti Agung Saraswati. My last digit number 056. Now I will explain about conclusion. Psychosexual development according to Sigmund Freud. Psychosexual development is how a personality development in childhood usually occurs simultaneously with puberty or before puberty. According to Freud theory, human psychosexual development begins with personality development through series of infantile stages in which the energy size, pressure from assistance in strain erosion zones, an area of the body that responds strongly to stimulation or context. One must go through every step of Freud's psychosexual development in order to grow fully into a functional adult. There are 5 stages of psychosexual development: stage 1 oral phase, stage 2 anal phase, stage 3 phallic phase, stage 4 latency phase, and stage 5 genital phase. That's all presentation from SGD B6. Thank you.